Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Spesh. And in this video, we are going to go ahead and dissect what happened to Samantha while she was in the Dark Ether and a bunch of different storyline implications that may come with it. So stick around because you are not going to want to miss the end of this video. It's going to be an absolute freaking banger. So it's been a few days since the Firebase Z Easter egg was officially completed and we saw the ending cutscene, and it kind of blew everyone's mind when Samantha Maxis walked out of the OPC in Firebase Z wearing what looked like the goggles of Nikolai, Takeo's sword, Dr. Monty's scarf, the gas mask from Zetsubo no Shima. Like, there was so much to unpack in that one moment. And then also her eyes were purple. There's so much to dissect just in this, but that is not as far as it goes. So a little backstory on my Samantha theory. A few weeks ago, I created a theory that Samantha almost maybe wanted to be captured by Omega. Like, that may have been her plan all along. Like I said before, Samantha is not an agent of Requiem or Omega. She is her own agent. She does kind of what she wants. She's a friend of Weaver's, so that is kind of why she helps Requiem out. But she is not an agent of either place. And in the video, I'll link it up above here. In the video, I discussed the possibility that, like, Samantha is trying to, while helping Requiem, also wants to do things on her own accord and for her own benefit. So my theory was, what if Samantha got herself captured on purpose? What if she wanted to go into the Dark Ether because she knew that they were doing that at the Omega facility inside of Firebase Z? What if she knew, based on what Ravenel had told her, that they were sending people into the Dark Ether? A lot of things can be explained by this theory. Like, how does she end up with these different pieces of former characters? And while these pieces may not be exactly the same, there's a couple different theories here that can explain it. Theory number one for that is she just stumbled upon it. Maybe she doesn't even realize what she's wearing. I don't like that theory. I think that theory sucks. The theory that I like the most, and the theory that I subscribe to the most, is that Samantha went into the Dark Ether to recover pieces, like bits and pieces of the former Ether storyline, to help hopefully save the world from this new threat. Now, obviously, back in the Ether storyline, at the end of the Togdur Toten Easter egg, by destroying the summoning key and killing everybody off, Nikolai basically then sent everything into the Dark Ether by having Samantha and Eddie walk through the portal. They made it out, and then everything went into the Dark Ether. We know that. But what we don't know is if and how all these things are still in the Dark Ether. And based on the presence of Elder Gods, specifically Orda, inside of Firebase Z as well as D Machina, we can assume that a lot of things still remain the same about the Dark Ether from the previous storyline. Now, there may be questions about, like, how the ray gun ended up in this world and how the manglers ended up in this world, and maybe those are just small bleed through things that happened within the old storyline to the new storyline. But that's not really the point of what we're talking about, is if basically the Dark Ether can feed things in that were in the old universe. Like for example, let's just say that, like, once the summoning key was destroyed and all those other fractured universes got sent into the Dark Ether. Let's say, like, for example, somewhere along the line, the Dark Ether spit out the ray gun just somewhere, and someone stumbled upon it. Now, all of a sudden, the ray gun is inside of this new storyline. So if that's the case, and the Dark Ether harbors all these different items, it's possible, like, especially because, like, I know that everyone in the Primus crew and everyone in the final cutscene of Togdur Toten dies. Who's to say that they are not in the Dark Ether? Because the Dark Ether has clearly changed people into zombies, so who's to say it can't reanimate the dead? So honestly, I don't see why not. I don't see why it wouldn't be possible for our different characters to have found their way into the Dark Ether. Maybe they weren't necessarily reanimated, but maybe, like, their souls or something is locked inside of the Dark Ether. And with Samantha going to the Dark Ether, maybe she was able to recover some of these different parts from those souls, and it helped unlock her memory of what used to happen. Because if you remember at the start of the D Machina cutscene, Samantha says it's happening again, which means she has some recollection of what happened in her past life. And if she has some recollection of what happened in her past life, what's to say that she doesn't have an idea of how she can stop it? An alternate theory to that is maybe she doesn't want to stop it at all. Maybe she wants to bring those pieces of the old storyline in to help fracture the universes once again, and all these different things from different dimensions and different universes, all to basically mess everything up once more. As we know, in the original Ether storyline, Samantha had powers. We know that she had been corrupted by the dark ether and that she had powers before, so who's to say she didn't have these powers all along? Because, like Dr. Peck said during the Easter egg, most people that go into the dark ether die, and she was in there for a couple of days, and he said that he was pretty sure she'd be dead by now. And she came out walking just fine, so is that because maybe she still had some of the dark ether inside her to begin with? It's really tough to say. But if she still had all these powers and stuff inside her to begin with, and now she has these purple eyes because she was corrupted even further by the dark ether, and maybe corrupted isn't quite the right term. Maybe like change the right term, because we don't know if it's going to make her evil or not. Like, we have no idea if the dark ether makes someone evil, or if it just kind of gives them some sort of different powers. As you see around the map, the zombies, as well as all of the mimics and all that stuff, they were all people, and they were all changed by the dark ether. But Samantha comes out looking relatively unchanged. And that could be due to the fact that maybe she still has some of the ether inside of her from the previous storyline that basically helped either adapt her to the dark ether easier, or it helped fight off the dark ether to begin with. Put on your tinfoil caps, YouTube, because this is going to get weird. Treyarch has never done this before, but when you play the Easter egg song Lost on the map Firebase Z, I want you to really listen, and I want you to think about it. Does it kind of sound like Samantha is singing that song?
I am the sharpest blade, the same one I cut with, and this
Does it kind of sound like Samantha is singing the song Lost on Firebase Z? Now, the song starts off with the woman in the song saying, "I am losing myself, even if you don't know it." So if you think about this as Samantha singing the song, she's losing herself in the dark ether where everyone really can't tell. Like, maybe not everyone can tell based on looking at her, but she's starting to lose herself. Now, moving on a little bit further in the song, it says, "I am lost, but I don't want you to find me." So again, going off of if, like, hey, maybe this is Samantha Maxis, like, she doesn't want to be found necessarily. She has a mission while she's in the dark ether, and that may be to gather intel, to figure out a bunch more stuff about how she can maybe help control the dark ether and how she can get it more inside of her. The song kind of changes as it progresses, and I feel like that could represent Samantha as a whole.
I will find my own way. That's the only way that it can be. But I don't want you to find me.
Like, maybe at the start her intentions were pure, but once she got thrown into the dark ether, she started to have dark thoughts, and it started to change her mind a bit. Now, also in the song, she says, "I am finding my way, that's the only way that I can be myself." Now, if you remember, at the end of the cutscene for Firebase Z, Samantha says, "This is the only way." YouTube, my goodness, this is getting juicy. Okay, let's keep it going here. Let's listen to a little bit more of the song. It kind of seems like the voice gets a little bit darker and a little bit crazier as the song goes on. Now, you ready for this juicy detail, YouTube? The person that sings this song, I had to Google it because I was so interested. The person that sings this song is Julie Nathanson. And, fun fact, the person that voices Samantha Maxis, Julie Nathanson. YouTube, I think we may have just unlocked something. We have figured something out here, YouTube. This song is literally sang by Samantha Maxis. As the song starts, it kind of like progresses from like, maybe not a happy, but like a more upbeat, pure, and then it gets dark and the music starts to get distorted and there's more yelling. And I feel like this is a good way to describe exactly what is happening to Samantha Maxis during this Easter egg. There's so many different things that you could say about what is happening to Samantha, but I think this basically seals it, is she is being corrupted, maybe not corrupted, but she is being changed by the dark ether, and she kind of likes it a little bit. If you guys are interested in more Cold War Zombies videos, go ahead and click this video on the screen right now. You're going to love that one as well. It might not be quite as juicy as this one, but it's still going to be juicy, I promise you. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Tiki team. We are almost at 150 subscribers on YouTube. I can't thank you guys enough. Don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, share it with your mom, share it with your dog. It'll make me smile. It'll make you smile. I hope this video helped you out. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think, and I will see you soon.